Hi, everybody. It's Renee Cormier from the Fractional Referral Network. Today we are talking to John Lawlor about AI and LM, no, LM Notebook LM anxiety. How many fractionals are having difficulty using certain AI tools because they're unsure of how to make the most of them. John's here to clear that up, and Notebook LM is an especially interesting tool. I'm just going to let John do it because he's the AI specialist. Go ahead, John.
Oh, great. Thanks. Thank you, Renee, for having me, giving me the opportunity to talk about my most favorite, most used tool behind ChatGPT. So I will share. Am my screen sharing? Or no, I'm not there yet. Okay,
Yes, you are screen sharing. Yes.
I am. Okay, great. Okay, so let me see if I can make this work. Uh, okay, here we go. Okay, AI anxiety. It seems to be a major a major issue amongst people in general, and fractionals and their clients are no different. Um, I'm John Lawlor, sometimes known as the the fractional AI whisperer, and I'm going to talk to you today about changing the script on AI anxiety with a single elegant tool. That's NotebookLM. Um, I've been using NotebookLM probably for about 5 or 6 months now, and it is my second most useful tool after ChatGPT. And I use them in conjunction with each other a lot of the time. So I want to talk a little bit about the anxiety part of it. There's really too much anxiety about AI. It's a technology, but all new technologies provide a high level of anxiety for people joining them or trying to join them or trying to make use of them. The internet did that, social media did it and still does. So AI is not any different. The difference from that point of view, the big difference with AI is that it's happening very, very fast. And it's so fast that it's providing a lot of the anxiety, I think. Okay. It's part of that problem is there's just too much information. As people have too much information, they're trying to find ways of using it. And there are so many tools out there that are claiming to be able to handle it for them. And it's hard to get real meaning out of the information. And it's especially when you try tool after tool after tool, it's hard to be consistent. And people, as in business, you need to be consistent. So the other thing is, again, I think I said it, there's too many choices and there's too little control. The control aspect is important because when you try things, a lot of the tools that you try, your data is being used for their training, and you don't always know when that's happening and what isn't. So what I like, one of the things I love about NotebookLM is it's a closed environment. I call it a walled garden. Okay, so there's just too much data out there and there's too little insight into it, and people are trying all sorts of different things. You hear about agentic AI or agentic AI, agent swarms, all of these things, and they're all a little wooey to people who aren't really technical, highly technical. And when you don't have a big technical background like I don't have, you need to find the things that work for you without causing angst. Again, the options, there's so many options out there. It's a classic decision paralysis, amplified because every platform promises magic but lacks transparency, proof, or safety in many cases. What I'm hearing from people is I have too many tools to choose from and I don't trust any of them. And I can understand that. I test a lot of tools. I'm not testing as many as I used to, but I was probably testing 6 months ago, probably testing 6 to 8 a week, maybe more. I've narrowed it down recently, and again, NotebookLM is a major part of it. So the various anxiety-causing things I think, are important to first address up front when we're talking about NotebookLM. And I want to help you to move as a fractional. I think that I can help you, or NotebookLM can help you move from stuck to strategic. And that's from hands-on power for fractional leadership. Okay, what did it do for you? Too much content. It'll clarify, summarize. You can curate the services that matter the most, as against ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, which really goes out to the entire universe of information they have when you are asking for some information, or even to take your own document and say, what does this mean? They have a tendency to hallucinate, i.e. they pick irrelevant data, reported relevant data, and so forth. It's one of the strengths of NotebookLM is it is highly limited in that case. Okay. Whenever you're dealing with new technologies and incorporating it into a business, you are dealing with your competing technologies, the old technology, the new technology, the time that you have competing for how much time do you have to learn something new? How much time do you have to learn it well enough to make it a regular thing, make it important make it valuable to you? And we live in a world of metrics overload, too much data, too many things that we have to process and understand. Whether it's when you have a new prospect, understanding what they have published, what you can learn about them, and then distilling it down to something that is actionable. NotebookLM is wonderful for doing that. Okay, mistrust, fear. It's people don't know what's happening with the information that they put in, and should be very, very careful. If you go completely to the ultra careful mode, you're not going to run anything on somebody else's machine, nothing out in the world. You're going to run it on your own machine, and there are engines that can do that. One of the joys of NotebookLM from Google is that they have built it in a manner that, like I've said, it's a closed garden. It's a walled garden. And the data that you put in is not shared with their processing, their building of their model, etc. So this list I picked up yesterday in one of the newsletters that I get. And I see probably twice a week, I see a new list of the top ones, whether it's for images or for video or whatever, but they're not so easy. They all have a learning curve. So it's a lot easier to have one core program that you can learn and work with. And that to me is NotebookLM. It's easy, it's smart, and it's productive. Okay. Walled garden. Okay. Castles were built around with moats around them, and a gangway that could be pulled up if there was something attacking them. And I kind of look at the NotebookLM as like a walled garden. You have literally, and you divide things up into notebooks. The notebooks don't talk to each other. They don't talk to anything other than what you're doing within that notebook. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of some blank slides. Okay. Well, that's a surprise. Okay, so this is the interface that you see for NotebookLM. One of the complaints that I've read, I did a little search recently to see how people were feeling about NotebookLM, and there was an interesting one. People said, "Well, it's just too 80s. It's too 80s," and the simplicity of it is one of its benefits. It basically has 3 panels. It has a sources panel, a chat panel, and a studio panel, and I'll go through each one. The sources panel is where you bring in your information, your documents, whether you bring them in as PDFs or as you go out and get URLs from YouTube, Word. It doesn't do Word docs, but it does Google Docs. It does not do Sheets, Google Sheets, or Excel spreadsheets. So it's really geared towards text and audio. So you can bring in a WAV file, a MP3 file, etc. So that's in the sources panel, and I'll show you quite a few of them. Okay, then you get to the chat panel, and you have to have a source to be able to chat with the panel, but you can ask it questions. Okay, and the third one is a studio panel, and the studio panel has a number of things. You can create an audio interview, which is basically a podcast. That it was probably the largest thing that put NotebookLM on the map. About 4 months ago, it hit and it just exploded, and everybody was publishing the same two people talking, and they do a great job. It's great. But it's not just for podcasting out to the world. One of the things is you can take any data that you have that you brought in as sources, and you can ask it any question you want, and it will give you an audio feedback. Okay, and I'll give you some examples of that. You can add a note about anything. You can, just with a click of a button, you click the add note and you can add a note. I use it to keep track of what my prompts are for the audio overview. Study guide, one click, and it will create a study guide on one document, 2 documents, 50 documents, as many as you have in the system, in the sources tab. FAQ, same thing. Briefing doc, timeline. The thing I forgot is, because it's not showing in the middle one, is they also have the ability, which is really cool, to do a mind map, which again, I'll show you live. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to switch to a live demo. Let me see if I can make this work. Okay, live demo, where are you? Okay. Do you see the NotebookLM panel?
Yes.
Renee?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So, okay, so, not. Okay, so basically what you have is this is my panel. You can see that I'm pretty active with it. It gives you a couple of different, I'm very active. It gives you a couple of options as far as viewing this. You can view it in a grid like this, which is generally how I view it. So then I could pick anything I want. So let's pick, well, you know what? Let's start with a new one. Okay, the first thing that happens is it pops up a window, which I pop up something else. Sorry about that. Okay, it pops up first time you bring it up this sub window, which I don't like. What I do immediately is I close it, and I come over to the top left-hand corner, and I type in what the name of this file is going to be. You can change the name at any point in time, so it doesn't matter. So let's call this a test demo. What's the date today? 5/6/25. Okay. And now I want to add a source. So what I'm going to do is I created a folder. Let me just find them. Sorry about this. Here. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm in a, oops. There. I'm just looking at another window at files. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a file, this eMarketer Spotter Creative. Okay, get that. Oops. Okay, so it's now brought in the file. It's gone through that file. It understands what's in there, and it's created a summary right here in the center panel, in the chat panel. So I can do quite a few things with it. I can look at it and say, okay, I want a mind map. Give me a mind map. And what it's going to do is in the studio panel, it's going to place the mind map when it finishes. Come on. Did you produce it? Okay. Well, let me try. I don't want to do an audio overview right now because it takes a few minutes. So I'm going to do, I think I might have to make my screen a little. Okay. So it's created the mind map. It just wasn't showing. I can click on the mind map, and now it takes that entire document and automatically creates a mind map out of it. So I can play with it. I can look at it and say, okay, master goals for creator partnerships. And it shows you, okay, deeper connections, full funnel impact, long-term partnerships. It's, again, breaking it down. And I can go, okay, deeper connections. I want to know what that meant by that. It now, with one click, it's going to go and analyze that. And in the center panel, it's going to give you the information that it's extracted. Okay, no muss, no fuss. It gives it to you with annotations as to where in the document it is, so you can see it. And the nice thing is you can then take that document and save it to a note. And the saved note comes over to the right-hand panel. And now you can do something else with that note if you want it. You could turn that note, if I can see the thing, into a source, but I think it's being blocked on my system. Yeah, okay. I can convert this to a source, and it comes over into the sources tab. So now so if I ask, let's say I look at the same document in 3 different ways and ask it to run a report, okay, on it, I then can create each of those and put them into make them sources. So it doesn't have to use the whole document. So in this case now, I'm going to go to the sources tab, and I'm going to turn off everything except for the, no, here, it's this one. Okay, I'm going to refresh the center panel to get rid of what I just put in. And now I'm going to ask it questions. Okay. What's this document about? And it's going to go through and it's going to answer my question. Based on the provided sources, the document is about how marketers are focusing on leveraging creator partnerships to build deeper connections with consumers. Again, you can take this now, and I could do the same thing. I could create this as a note. I could save this as a note, and I could also create it, that note. I could send it over to the sources as a new source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me do this. YouTube. I'm going to go to YouTube. And this is one of the strongest things that I think of, from my perspective about it. Okay, I'm going to go here, pick a video.
Hi everyone. This is a very
Okay. I'm going to pick that. I'm going to go back to Notebook. I'm going to add a source on the left-hand column, and I'm going to go down to where it says YouTube, and I'm going to add the YouTube. I'm going to sort it. Now, that YouTube video, let me see how long it is. That YouTube video is 13 minutes and 22 seconds. Okay. It has pulled everything about that video in sight of 10, 15 seconds. And I can now give me a summary. And because I only picked that one source, it's only going to work on that. It shows me, I don't know whether you can see it, but down here, it tells me that it picked one source or using one source. Again, you have control over the sources. And that's one of the powers of this. You can have as many notebooks as you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and look at a different notebook. Okay, this is a client of mine, and I went on her website and I pulled down all of the pages on her website. And what we did was there's another aspect to the sources that I haven't mentioned, but it's relatively new and it's pretty cool. Okay, you can now use it to search. So you actually don't have to bring in your own material to begin with. But let's say her business is built around happiness. She's a speaker, a lecturer, a writer, and so happiness in the office. And now what it's going to do is it's going to use Gemini, which is Google's engine, and I believe it's using the 3.5 version of Gemini, and it's giving me a whole bunch of possible articles that I might want. I can look at all of them, or I can just import them all. And now it's going to give me all of those articles. Now, unfortunately, what this notebook is not set up the way I like to set them up lately. This notebook doesn't number everything. And the reason for labeling numbers is so when I bring in like 10 new sources, I know immediately which are the new ones. Right now, I've got to search for them. The other way to do it would have been to unclick everything. So do this before I brought in the new documents. So let's say I do it again. So I just put in something stupid like duck soup. And now they're all going to come. I can bring them all in, import them, and now they're going to be visible to me with the check marks. But what I do is, let's see here. I think it's this one. Right. Okay. This one, I working on my classification system or my numbering system. What I've done here is I have this particular one, BZ. It's a guy who has a site called Blazing Zebra. He focuses a lot of his time on NotebookLM, and he produces a pretty good amount of videos, YouTube videos about it. So I have, what do I have from him? I have 15 sources directly from this one man about NotebookLM over the last 6-8 months that he's done that I still find to be relevant. So I brought them all in. So now I can ask it to give me the general consensus of what can be done with, a list of things that can be done with it. I can also go out to Perplexity or ChatGPT and ask them the same thing, but the difference is that this is within a structured amount of data, so that if I've decided that they're valuable enough or reputable enough to have them in my notebook, then I get better results for me than if I just go to ChatGPT or Perplexity and ask this exact same question. So that's one of the things that I really like about it. But in this case, let me load. Oh, you know what? Let me go here. I did here. Again, the numbering is recent because I realized it was overwhelming me. But what I did here was, this is my web developer, and he is very prolific with the material he puts out there about WordPress. And what I did was I did a audio that I asked, the prompt was Focus on extracting the training and lesson styles across all videos. Pretty simple. I'll give you a, where are you? Okay. What did I do? Oh, here. Okay. Tell me if you can hear
Welcome
this.
to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something, well, really interesting, how experts actually teach. We've got a collection of video transcripts here from WPlaunchify, and we're going to try and explore their training methods, their, teaching approaches.
Yeah, specifically in that sort of WordPress, e-commerce, marketing automation.
Okay, so it did exactly what I asked it to do. So think about this. If you have a series of meetings that you have recorded and you want an analysis of how you've done, it can analyze how your style, what your style is. I mean, if you're stuttering like I am today, and it's going to kind of boom, 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 it's going to let me know if I want that information. If I don't want that information, I'll ask it not to tell me. But you can take any document, any web document, any Google Doc, etc., audio, YouTube, and ask it questions. You can ask the same question. I could ask the same question in the chat panel, and it will give it to me. It will probably give me a very similar answer. Now, let me take that and try that. But the difference is with the audio, I get a, how long is it? I get it. It's an 11.5-minute audio analyzing this. And it's like, how many times have you wanted to have something analyzed with an independent eye and try to find a colleague or a friend who would sit through it and do it more than once a month? So I think the best use of the podcast, the audio overview, is for analyzing things in an audio way. I'm not a big reader. I'm much more visual. I'm very visual and much more visual, much more audio oriented. So I would much rather hear something told to me. I mean, I read my books on Audible. I guess.
So can I ask you a question, John?
Absolutely.
One of the things with any AI, and you notice this a lot with NotebookLM, you get canned phrases, and the first time you use we'll just, since we're talking about NotebookLM, we'll focus on that. The first couple of times you use NotebookLM, it's amusing, that it can take this content and turn it into a whole podcast, that kind of thing. But you get these canned phrases like deep dive and let's unpack that. And you hear this over and over and over again. And then just the same with written stuff out of ChatGPT. There are telltale signs that it's AI generated and it looks canned, and the engagement then goes off. So I guess using it for yourself for the purpose of learning NotebookLM, and it doesn't really matter that they use these phrases, although they can get tedious when you listen to them over and over again. Can you have it change its language? Can you, for example, with ChatGPT, I can have it adjust its language so that it speaks in a tone that is more like me, and I can tell it, no canned AI speak, no trite phrases, give it to me straight or whatever, and it will come back with something that's more natural sounding than the typical, in today's evolving world of, they have that kind of stuff. Can you do this with NotebookLM, or is it not there yet?
That's my next big test, is playing with prompts like that, using, I'm a big believer in very simple prompts. But I understand what you're saying. I look at it as a trade-off. Okay. How long would it take me to write this or do the analysis myself, or how much would it pay me to have someone do it, and how long would it take? The fact that I can have that analysis done in 2 minutes and listen to it or read it, is phenomenal. And
Yes.
the program, the numbers that this program has had in a short period of time of users, active daily users with this program are phenomenal. It's a Google product. Google is some of the same technology is being used in other products that Google has. It appears to be has become a major initiative on Google's part. They've updated it a couple times recently, added new features. The being able to talk to the podcast, the audio overview, and I'll do that in a second, is one of the newer ones that may be 3 months old, 2 months old. And it's phenomenal because you get to ask it any question you want, and it takes that data, and it literally, they process it in real time and feed it back to you what the answer is, and that'll be a good one then. But yeah, I look at the balancing act here. Can I give it complicated prompts and ask it? Probably. The ability to prompt it for the audio is recent also. That came out about the same time as the ability, the interactive aspect of it. So I just see it getting better and better and better. So the answer to the question is yes, those things are annoying, but the trade-off is, they're not that. If you're using it for your own purposes, if I'm using it to analyze it, if I have a prospect who publishes frequently, I can go and pull all their material in a matter of minutes, 10, 15 minutes, maybe, once I find it, and then analyze it, or have the system, NotebookLM, analyze it. And that's going to give me incredible material for prospecting with that client, that prospect. So, it's a balance. It'll get better. It's like, where was ChatGPT's image creation a year ago? It was DALL-E, and DALL-E can do some great things, but DALL-E sucked at anything to do with human beings. DALL-E was, and now
6 fingers, 4 legs.
well, yeah, yeah, they all did. They all did a year ago. The extra fingers and the legs. They've all improved. They've all improved dramatically. But Google took a humongous. ChatGPT took a humongous leap 3 weeks ago when they released their images right within ChatGPT. It's slow. It's like, okay, we're really thinking a lot here. We're really working hard, so it's going to take some time, but it is wonderful what you can do. I mean, I use that on a regular basis instead of going to Midjourney and muck it around for an hour trying to get it right.
Yes.
I can get in most cases. I mean, I built some logos on it. It's very good. So I'm looking at it as how practical is it to do what I need to get done? Is it going to be perfect? It's not going to be perfect. Give it another year. It'll be close to perfect, but it's easy and perfect. It's easy now. It's not necessarily perfect, but that's going to change. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
So
it's all a work in progress, isn't it?
Well, I'm collecting prompts that are being used for more high level extraction from ChatGPT, especially. And I'm going to start implementing those prompts and testing how well they work within NotebookLM. But because it's driven by Gemini, so anything that works in Gemini, there's a good chance it's going to work. Any directions in Gemini, it's a good chance they're going to work within NotebookLM. So
Good to know.
okay, so let me go. Okay, what did I? Oh, here let's do the interactive one. So
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something. Oh wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Hi, I've got a question for you. I'd like to know how many standardized AI type
That's a great
words.
question. How many, what exactly? Are you thinking about the number of tools they were using?
Or maybe the number of automations that were made. Oh yeah, go on.
Okay, let me finish. Okay. I want to know how many stupid phrases are being used within these videos.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you give us an example of what you mean by that? What stood out to you?
Yeah, we're curious to know what phrases you found distracting or unhelpful.
Knowing what you're noticing helps us understand the different ways people communicate, right?
Exactly. It all plays into how effectively someone can teach a new concept.
Okay. Yep. Go on.
Renee, why don't you say one of the ones that you mentioned a second ago?
Hate when I hate when
We think about the
when you
magic
say
trick.
things like
Yes, they did
unpack
refer
that.
to certain features as magic tricks quite a bit.
It was interesting.
Oh, go for it.
I hate when you say things like let's unpack that, or all of these trite phrases that they mark AI over and over and over
Oh,
again.
you're picking up on our own little habits, are you?
It's funny how those
Yes.
things become part of our conversational flow,
Yeah, like let's unpack this. It's just a way of saying let's dig deeper.
or a signal that we're about to break something down.
So you notice those kinds of phrases in our speech too.
It's all part of how we try to make these topics accessible.
Okay, well, keeping your feedback in mind.
So they're aware. No, you can interject that in. Now, what you can do, again, is I haven't tried it. You could take a document, like you were talking about your own situation, your own writing styles and whatever word use, etc. You could take that and put it into a document on GDocs and include that. So that would be one of your sources. And you could refer to that specific document
Don't
and
use
say,
these terms.
do not use the terms that are included in, do not use the terms document,
Right.
source. And so those are things that I'm going to start playing with and trying. All right, let me see what else. What haven't I covered? Okay, the source uploading, auto summarization is one of the things. It's pretty easy to do. Asking question across sources. You can go in here and let's say deselect everything, and I just want to have the sources being Spence. So Spence. Now this one I've got Spence's YouTube and then a document. So I just want to pick four things and then now work with it. Now it only will use those 4 items. I could create a new podcast with just those 4 items. I could create a briefing document with those, etc. There's a lot of flexibility here in what you do. Obviously, you can ask questions across sources. You can, multi notebook organization is interesting, where you take, because the notebook is a closed garden, a walled garden, each one. If you have a client and you can have different aspects of that client that you want to be working on or using, so you can create client A, subject A, client A, subject B, client A, subject C. You can't at the moment cross across the boundaries of the notebooks. That's something that is reported that's in the works for the future.
Monique had a question, and I
Sure.
hope I said your name right. She was wondering about if you can use NotebookLM to pull
Yeah.
content right from a full website.
Yes. Yeah. Source.
From a full, can you take the basically scrape the entire website? Was that the question?
Like take the URL, there are like some websites that do a lot of research and study, and then they post it, for whoever visits their website. There's stuff
Right.
that's behind paywalls and you have to pay for, but like there's a lot of like places like that I go just to research like what's the latest thing happening in some industry. So I'm just wondering, like, for the stuff that's publicly available on their website, if I just grab the URL.
Do you have a
and I
URL
plug that as a
example?
source into Notebook.
Do you have an example
said-
of one that I can go to?
Ooh, what's one? Oh, Gallup. So I'm in like the HR space. So Gallup, GALLUP comes to mind. They publish a lot of reports on their website, and then there's more customized things that you can actually pay for. So that might be a good one.
Okay.
Gallup.com.
Okay.
There they are,
There-
the second option there.
Okay.
That one, yeah.
Okay. So how about, is this what you're talking about? Like this? Come on, go away.
Research and polling, maybe.
Which one?
Go to the research and polling thing.
That, yeah, a tab. I'm wondering where, because I guess, yeah, technically I don't need the entire website, but if I'm like, I just want to pull from, so you can see like their research, it's global, it's different topic areas. Yeah, so like if I wanted to, I know like I could download the report and for
Okay, well, here's what you have to do. First of all, you cannot do
you
an
know,
entire.
whatever specific report I'm looking for.
Okay, I'm sorry, I've interrupted you.
If I wanted to just like feed it that URL.
If you can get it as a PDF, you can pull it in. You can take everything. I could do this entire page.
URL at the top, is it able to access whatever they've shared on the website?
No, you can only do it by URL. So, for example, when I did with Joanna's, okay, all of the ones that were originally in here, not the duck soups, all the pages, the return on happiness pages from her website, they were brought in individually.
I don't know if you can hear me yet. Hello?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Are you there?
Okay, I'm not hearing you.
It's okay. Yeah. I think she's having some streaming problems. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the short answer is that you can bring it in URL by URL, and it will not bring in anything behind a paywall. You can't, because you can't log. NotebookLM will not log in for you. So what you have to do is you find the documents that you want, download them. Generally, they'll be downloaded as a PDF, and now bring them in as a PDF. Just like I brought in the eMarketer
But
report.
it won't open up the PDF for you. Is that correct? So
The
when you go to
Right.
the Gallup
But
page, it's got the PDF there, but you have to click on it. It won't go into it for you.
No, it will. No, it'll just show you what's on the page.
Exactly. Okay. Got you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good question. Thank you. Okay, so where were we? So we've done the so I did the multi-notebook organization. I've shown you how the sources in a document are showing. So if you have it built on a multiple sources, it will show you, and you can click on it. This one's not showing me because it probably wasn't. Well, let me see. Okay. For example, here, it's showing me the source, and this was obviously done on not many documents, but it makes your life very easy to find the references, whereas a lot of like Perplexity does the same thing. Perplexity is very good at citing the sources. So that's one of the advantages. Okay, I showed you the auto-generated briefs and drafts, interactive notes threads, multimodal support. It can do audio, video, text, PDFs, etc. It's got a pretty wide range. I think I understand why they don't do Excel like spreadsheet type material, but it wouldn't surprise me down the road if they if they brought it in, analyzing spreadsheets, etc. There's some good programs out there for it. And again, citation aware answers. So those are all specific things that my research showed that it's quite good at from other people's points of view. What else? What else would you like to see that I haven't shown you? Let me go here. Let me go back to Spencer. Now, when I click on one of his sources, it's a video. So it's going to do what it does this thing frequently, where if it's been in the system very long, the video is not available. It doesn't, all of the information is still available, but the video is not. But it breaks out the key topics for you in every video that it does. So you can, marketing automation, abandoned cart, new subscriber, customer segmentation, etc., which is pretty useful. So again, it may not be perfect, but it's better than working with 5 or 6 different programs to do it. I mean, I have a program that will summarize, YouTube videos. It's a Chrome plugin and a Chrome extension. And, I probably bought it a year ago. And I know I bought it over a year ago because I let the subscription lapse. I don't need it. This does a better job. And it isn't a one-off thing. And when you look at how many of these notebooks I have, let me see, go back.
A lot.
Yeah. Now you may have noticed that my system says plus, the top left-hand corner. It's NotebookLM plus. If you are a subscriber to Gemini, which is a $20 a month subscription, you are automatically you get the plus version. So you don't have to pay any more for it. So when they came out with, they upgraded it 2 months ago. I got the plus version. The plus version just allows you to have a much bigger, I think you get up to 300 sources per notebook. I haven't hit anywhere near that yet. If you have the free version, I think it was 50. I think they've upgraded up to 300 to 100.
And you can always delete the ones you're not using, and
well,
right?
that's the sources, and then the number of notebooks you could have is way more with plus, and there are some other aspects of it that you can get, and I expect that their growth area is going to be in the plus subscriptions with the new features that come out. And because I have plus, I no longer know what's not available. I can't really tell what's not available if I was running with just a normal account, a free account. But I think it's a fabulous resource. And
I can see it being very handy. I'm a very much adjust the facts, get to the point kind of person, and I find YouTube videos annoying because they want to maybe tell you 3 or 4 things, but they'll take half an hour talking about all kinds of crap I don't care about in the beginning, and and so I just want the points, so if you've got 5 exercises to build your biceps or whatever, I'd rather just know what the 5 exercises are than listen to a whole spiel about, different types of workouts and age and, whatever the hell, the science. I just want to know what to do. So maybe NotebookLM is very, it can be very focused for you in that way, John?
absolutely.
Yeah.
With Spencer, he has a lot of videos, and I just went and pulled them in, and now I can ask it whatever the topic I need to know about. across, 30, 25, 30 videos that he has. I haven't finished bringing them all in, but about 25 or 30 videos, I can just go click, click, click and tell me, and it will find the information and it will tell me where it got it. So I can then go and say, okay, now I want to watch that video, or tell me more about it. And it's, it's very effective. I don't want to watch all these videos. I don't find them annoying, but I don't want to watch that many to find out. That used to be one of my biggest rabbit holes, watching YouTube videos. But technically, and my wife always joked that shortly after we got married, I'd go to bed and read computer manuals. And this is the equivalent. This is the equivalent.
You're a techie at heart from.
No, I'm a techie at heart, I
get-go.
guess. Yeah. But I bought my first computer in 1979,
Yeah.
and I bought my second computer the day after. Because the first computer was a TRS-80, called it. We nicknamed the Trash 80, and it was
Yes.
terrible. And
Yeah.
but it got me interested and got me going. And then I bought an Apple II, and so forth and so on. So and the rest is history. I've been
Yes.
been a follower of technology since, but I can't code my way out of a paper bag.
Yeah. Well, that's great to have a passion, John. So yeah.
It keeps me occupied, keeps me fun, and
Keeps you out of trouble.
the debate whether AI is totally evil or not seems to be subsiding, so that's good, because
Yes.
I got into, it's like I say, well, I'm doing AI marketing consulting, or that type of thing, and oh, that's terrible. Didn't you hear about how much energy it uses? It's like, again, life is a balance. It's, what's the balance for you? If you can't find any real use for AI, if you can't find any use for NotebookLM, it's frankly useless to you. So don't bother. But when you see all those different, I have graphics that I've downloaded or copied of the universe of AI these days, and I haven't done it in probably 6 months. But it's like looking up at a night sky, in a very clear place, and seeing, wow, there's a lot out there, and that's the way AA is right now. And if as a fractional, you have to, you don't have enormous amounts of time to just go and search and play and search and play. That's how I spend my day. I like it. I don't have to, I frankly don't have to worry about whether I have 50 clients I'm working with or not. I do this stuff for me, and the help sharing it with other people is great. I enjoy doing that a lot. So and I'm really focused on doing NotebookLM training, tutoring, private workshops, I'm calling them, and I can bring people up to speed very quickly for what's useful to them, because the bottom line is the only thing that matters is what's useful to you. And it's a great place to use to accent your prospecting and your prospecting and research. And you could that just threw me. You changed the screen.
I'm sorry. I
So
figured.
I was looking at myself, because I positioned myself right behind the sorry.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, I just moved it. So I like to talk to the camera, but when it goes all over the place. So it's an incredible tool. It's an incredibly useful tool. It's easy to learn. And I think it's probably the fastest thing, other than, asking ChatGPT a question. Anybody can ask ChatGPT a question. Anybody can go, to Midjourney and create an image, but it doesn't mean that the answer out of ChatGPT is going to be great. It's going to be what you need. It's going to be accurate. Okay. The answers in NotebookLM are going to be as accurate as the data you chose to put into the system. You don't know that with ChatGPT. And if you've noticed, every AI engine has a disclaimer that says information may not be accurate. please.
Yes.
It's significantly reduced with NotebookLM because it's not going out to the entire world. So I'm anyone who is interested in chatting about it, I'm willing to. I'm offering a 20-minute conversation, a little strategy session if they want. They can just go to my LinkedIn profile, ask me for a connection, first level connection, or if you're a first level, and in that say that you'd like to chat, and I will send you a link. If you're a first level connection, just again, go to a message and just ask me, tell me you'd like to connect. Or you go on to actually on the LinkedIn page, there's a button that you can go directly to the meeting. But so that's all.
Very good. Well, thank you, John. It was very interesting, and I appreciate your time today.
Well, Renee, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to kind of babble on about my new love.
My pleasure. We'll see you inside the Fractional
Okay.
Referral Network. Bye-bye.
Great. Thanks. Bye.